Hey Narwhals, and welcome back to some more weight loss stories. Only a small percentage of our viewers actually subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind later, so please tap subscribe to join the original 200k Narwhals. Weight loss is not always a proud feeling. Today was a very raw experience. When extreme weight gain was a defense mechanism or a trauma response, shedding that weight does not always feel like something to be proud of. On most days, I do feel more confident and energetic due to my weight loss, but today was not one of those days. I haven't really worn real clothes during my entire weight loss journey since I've been working from home and have had no need to dress up. But today, I needed to dig through my closet to find a proper, well-fitting outfit. Everything hung across me like a garbage bag. As I stood there, swimming in my clothes, I felt an unsettling, palpable feeling like half my body was missing, like my protection layer was missing, like that big blubbery part of me that kept people away and kept me safe from being hurt by bad people was gone. I felt tiny and fragile standing in those giant clothes. I kept digging through my closet and finally found something that fit. Clothes from college, a very rough period of my life. Putting those clothes on transported me right back to that time and place I've tried to leave behind. Putting on those clothes felt like putting on an old version of myself that I wanted to leave in the past. The clothes fit exactly right, and at the same time, I felt suffocated in them. Weight loss is as much of a psychological journey as a physical one. For those of you whose weight challenges have deep roots, know that you are not alone. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. It can hurt at times, but it's for our own good. Oof, yeah. I know at least a part of the reason I personally regained was because I started becoming unrecognizable to myself. I didn't see me when I looked in the mirror, and it was worse in pictures, and I felt too visible to others. It really does feel like protection sometimes to be large, but it's definitely hurting me more to be my size again than learning to cope at a smaller size. I hope new/different clothes can feel better for you, maybe taking in some things. This is actually such a healthy thing, to recognize what the root feelings behind the original weight gain were. Have you heard of the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study, ACEs? Basically, a doctor at an obesity clinic noticed that some of his most successful patients had a very high relapse rate. He investigated and discovered that their weight gain was indeed a defense mechanism, and that if these people didn't begin to deal with the root causes of the trauma, it was very likely that they would rapidly regain. If you're in a position to get some support professionally, that would probably be the best bet to ensure that you maintain your weight loss. I personally really resonate with somatic experiencing for healing the traumas that make me afraid of being seen. It's a long journey, but it's worthwhile. Wishing you all the best. It's comforting to know the process of getting healthier isn't scary to just me. The smaller I get, the more I notice how strong some people are. I can't plant myself and not be moved. It shocked me a few weeks ago when someone scooped me up and moved me to where they wanted me, like I was nothing. I still have so much to go, but it was just a brief flash of play wrestling with a male friend in college and him getting serious for a second. There was no contest, when I had always thought I had a fighting chance. It was shocking. It still is. Small is vulnerable and visible to everyone, not just the men I want. I read that weight gain is due to fear, and that you are physically patting yourself. In my life, that made a lot of things click. When I was losing weight, I took that very literally. I made lifestyle changes and healthy changes to my nutrition. I even started to enjoy working out. As the weight came off, I found myself mentally confronted with my buried fears, doubts, and deep-seated shame. I was exposed, so to speak. I remember I made a game out of it. The more weight I lost, the more I wanted to free myself from old emotional wounds or psychological programming. At one point, I was stuck at a certain weight, and I became convinced it was because I had some emotional wounds that I needed to heal. Kinda like a clogged pipe, and in order to unclog it, I needed to do some investigating and healing. So in addition to the healthy nutrition and exercising, I dug really deep to unpack as much as I could. I discovered triggers, emotional programming that was put in me from toxic friends and family members. It really goes on and on. I enjoyed the process of shedding my emotional wounds and updating my old programming. It's been a few years now, and I'm in a much healthier place, not just physically, but mentally too. It makes a lot of sense. You have reached a point where you can't hide behind yourself anymore. It's scary, but at the same time, it's amazing. You gave yourself the opportunity to start a whole different story. I think a lot of people relapse because they're not prepared for the mental work they have to put in. You have the awareness already, so I'm confident you can break out of the unhealthy thought patterns with a bit of effort. It's always good to keep in mind that the vast majority of negative thoughts are just in your head and not actually based in reality. Even if you had people treating you like crap, the majority of humans don't hate you or find you repulsive. We're generalizing negative experiences way too often. However, I think this is a moment to be proud. You are recognizing important factors. You are paving the way to new experiences. The past is the past. It will never change, but you don't have to live in it anymore. I'm making assumptions now, and maybe it doesn't apply, but chances are that for years you've reinforced wrong ideas about your identity, self-worth, and lovability. You were worthy of love and respect back then, and you are worthy now, and you will be in the future. It's an unchangeable fact. I sometimes meet people that put on weight and seemingly stop caring about their health because in a way they want the things mean people say about them to be true, and because it's easier if the outside matches the inside. Note that this is about perceived looks and negative associations, not the reality. And it's easier to continue with unhealthy ways if you can look into the mirror and say, yeah, they are right, I am trash. You are not, and never have been trash. I wish you nothing but success on your journey. To anyone struggling who wants a quick fix, there isn't one. Okay, but seriously, let's have a chat. I'm a realist, but I'm also an optimist. So I thought I'd work my magic here because let's face it, some of you guys wanted a quick fix yesterday. Assuming you're somewhat fluent in English and you're over the age of 10, you were able to read and comprehend up to this point. Now think back to kindergarten. Your being of a brain wouldn't have been able to. You know why? You had to practice reading as a child to get to this point. Assuming you're able to drive, in the last 6 months, hefty time frame considering COVID, you went grocery shopping to pump gas, hey maybe even a road trip. I'm also going to assume and hope that you weren't in a car accident. You know why? You practiced driving as a teenager to be a safe driver. The same scenario could be applied to cooking, walking, riding a bike, and social skills. As a child, these things are new, but you learn how to do them until they become part of your daily life. By the time you're an adult, these things become second nature. If you struggle with weight loss, like the majority of the subreddit, myself included, chances are you never practiced the healthy habits as a kid, whether that be healthy diet, exercise, or just self-discipline when it comes to dessert. Do not beat yourself up. It's not easy to learn these things as an adult, so you have to be patient with yourself. I grew up not knowing how to ride a bike, tried to teach myself as an adult, and couldn't do it. I fell off so many times, I just didn't want to try anymore. That's fine. I don't need to learn to ride a bike to be happy in life. I also grew up not having a good relationship with food. I tried to diet, and I fell off so many times. I didn't want to diet anymore. For me, this wasn't okay, because I want to be healthy. I want to lose weight. I want to have stamina. I want to give myself the healthy body that I deserve. It's okay to fall off sometimes. We're human, we're not machines. We're going to make mistakes, and this is a slow process. It's something that we have to teach ourselves. It's not going to happen overnight, no matter how badly we want it to. And baby steps. Work on one thing at a time until it becomes easier. Drink more water, go for a walk after lunch or dinner, say no to that late night snack. Do something today that you'll be proud of tomorrow. The things that are most worth it require hard work, so start today. If you fall off, it's okay. Let yourself feel bad in the moment, dust yourself off, and then do something to get back on track. Look forward and don't dwell on the little mistakes. Remember to be gentle with yourself and keep going. Think of where you'll be in a year if you start learning healthy habits today. I caught myself in the mirror and bawled because what I've accomplished so far. I, like many of you, have struggled with weight issues nearly my entire life. When I was a kid, I was decently fit until around the 2nd grade, where I began to have some slight health issues. Due to my allergies, my doctor recommended to my parents steroids to help accelerate my growth in hopes to phase out my allergies. As a result, I gained a massive amount of weight and height extremely quickly. After that, I accepted myself as the fat guy, and it destroyed my self-image through a public school and a good chunk of college. I consistently told myself I'm just not a skinny guy. There's nothing wrong with being fat. I love food too much. I could lose the weight if I wanted to, but I'm good where I'm at, etc. Then 2019 comes around. I'm at my parents' place over fall break, and I go and take a shower. I turned and caught myself in the mirror, and my immediate gut reaction was one of disgust. You know when you don't intend to see yourself in the mirror, and you do, and you have a moment where you don't subconsciously think you're looking at yourself? That happened. I was disgusted of myself. I hated myself. I weighed myself, and I was 249 pounds. I thought about all the things I've told myself, specifically the "I could lose weight if I wanted to" thought. I wanted to prove that theory. Do I have the ability to fix this? This marks the beginning of my weight loss journey. There's been some ups and some downs, but I'm currently 185 pounds and shooting for 175, well, more like 11% body fat. However, I still look at myself and see myself as big. I don't know if I have an ED, but I definitely have the symptoms of it. However, as I'm getting ready to go to bed last night, I sleep shirtless, so I'm shirtless in this moment. I caught myself in the mirror right above my dresser. My subconscious didn't realize I was looking at myself, and my gut reaction was one of envy. The lighting highlighted my arms and my stomach, where some slight abs are beginning to develop. It also highlighted my stretch marks on my side, my upper chest, and my profile frame. I viewed myself as mexy, and I friggin' lost it. I cried so friggin' much. It took me like 15 minutes to stop. I'm so happy that I've accomplished this, and I'm not even done. And that brings us to the end, Narwhals. And please tap subscribe to join the original 200k Narwhals. And lastly, here's our featured Narwhal of the day. At 327 pounds to 198 in a year and a half, still have 50 to 60 pounds to lose.